What is going on, Paraphilia? JP here with the Just Paranormal podcast. I am joined by the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Producer Joey's over there rocking it.
Hi, I'm here to play.
What are you gonna play? So today's episode is a retry of a retry. Is that what you call it? It's like podcastception. A podcast within a podcast. So we're trying to redo this again. Just technical issues, but it's okay. We are rolling anyways. So we got a fun show for you guys tonight. I'm super excited about the topic. It's probably going to itch a lot of scratches or scratch a lot of itches or however you do that. But it's going to touch on multiple things. But we're going to have a main thing that we are paying attention to. But before we get to that, how are you feeling after the last episode, the moon episode?
That's one of those scratching the surface kind of things because the moon, the mysteries, theories, conspiracies are as vast as the moon itself. I mean, like there's so many things that we could talk about in relation to the moon. It's kind of, that's a series in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And after, I still believe what I believe as far as the moon landing and all that stuff, how I'm sure it happened, maybe not when they said it happened, but hey, we had to get there first because, scoring points, one for the home team.
Did we at least like get you thinking a little bit, like just sway you a little bit? What was the thing that stood out to you the most that you remembered where you were like, okay, that was kind of weird. I was not expecting that one.
The thing that I found about the moon reverberating for like an hour after it was impacted, like there was something just continuing. And, that kind of brings up the whole hollow moon theory, which is really cool because who the hell knows? We haven't been there enough and have not really done enough. As far as science, we have basically scratched the surface again. We have moon rocks and dust. But we haven't gone down in there to see what's going on other than moon rocks and dust.
I like that you said we haven't been there and then you pause for a second. You're like, enough.
There you go.
Hey, you have to tell me right now. Are you in the CIA? Are you a CIA plant?
Man,
you were in the military.
I was in the military and I kind of wish I was a CIA plant because, I'd probably have a lot more, I would have more time in. I could retire and all that stuff, but no, man, I just did my time and got out. I'm a civilian.
What was the don't ask, don't tell policy back then?
Back when I was in, that was who it was freaking Bush #2 was running the show, and it was the same because it was in the Clinton era where the don't ask, don't tell came up, and that was kind of a compromise just to shut everybody up. And when Bush came in, they didn't even touch it, and so it was
we're not even.
But, to a certain
extent. If I was in the military, I would say, do ask and do tell.
I mean, and my whole thing is to a certain extent, military service is gay for pay. You might not be gay, but you're going to be doing stuff. I'm not saying it's going to be, it's going to be, in the slang term of gay as in lame, not quite homosexual, but the things you do sometimes come off that way. And plus, like back when in the construction job and all that, most of the jokes were very homo-centric. There was nobody would tell a joke about you at your new job, the stuff that you talk about is different from the construction thing. And the construction job and the military are very close with the homoerotic humor.
Yeah. I think I saw the most penises I've seen in a setting with other people at our old job than in high school locker room. Probably about the same amount.
I knew a crane operator who, when he went into the porta can, he wouldn't lock the door. And the reason he did it was because he wanted someone to see it. So they would brag about how big it was without him actively saying, hey, look at this. Because saying, hey, look at my penis says, dude, that's kind of gay. But if you just happen to open the door, oh wow, sorry,
You
oh
just
wow, that thing's massive. Hey
it's
man,
like
guess what I saw? That guy's got a big one, and
it's like
because he didn't lock the.
the wardrobe in Narnia, but instead of a mystical land, you open it to a fat crane operator's penis.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't see it. He just, it was one of those things where somebody else did, and then we kind of gave him crap about trying to freaking show off his wiener, and it's like, dude, nobody wants to see that. It's like
and that's
you.
crazy to let it sit on a porta potty like toilet like that. That's insane.
That's just. I mean, you're just asking for trouble and diseases and such.
Oh yeah, that's you got to be pretty brave, pretty
I don't
brave
think
guy.
bravery's. I don't think bravery kind of fits into that at all. It's massive stupidity, or a complete and utter like absence of giving a damn about your personal health and well being.
See, I was thinking of it the other way. Like I think it's brave, and I look up to that type of behavior.
I mean, if you're on your knees, you're going to look up to it.
Very true. And if it's as big as this guy was with his confidence, you will always be looking up to it.
Yeah, I'm getting visuals that I don't really want.
Still, that's the real crane wasn't the only thing he was operating. A lot of heavy machinery.
Who wants a mustache ride?
So
Anyway,
I feel like a lot of our tangents on the first episode were gay too. So this is kind of interesting. So I feel like there's a
that's kind
theme
of
to this.
there is a lean here,
Yeah.
and I apologize to all listeners that there is an unfortunate lean.
And talking about gay, we're going to be talking about flat Earth too tonight. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So Antarctica and flat Earth, that's the main topic for tonight. We are going over Antarctica, and Antarctica and flat Earth, they're almost hand in hand in some ways because a lot of people that believe there's something fishy going on with Antarctica also tend to believe that maybe the Earth is not what they are telling us it is. Let's go ahead and get our personal opinions out there first. I think that's a great way to break the ice. So, um, what do you think when you hear that somebody believes that the Earth is flat? Like, what do you think?
I know people, family who think the Earth is flat, and the arguments are what they are. It's I can't say because I don't know. I've never been in a position to see the Earth from a point of seeing curvature. Every time I was in an airplane, I see what I see. I see an endless vastness of some flatness.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know the story of somebody back in the olden days, I think, went from Egypt to Alexandria and measured shadows and determined that the Earth was flat, or sorry, that the Earth was round. Uh, but who the hell really knows? Reality is subjective. We believe what we're told to a certain extent, what you learn in school. My personal belief is maybe. It's a
Okay.
hard maybe. That's that riding that fence. There you go.
Okay. So, if you are a maybe when it comes to flat Earth, then what do you think the astronauts saw when they were landing on the moon?
Now, are we
Because for
assuming
me,
that the
if
moon
if
is?
I said that I thought the Earth was maybe flat, it would be easy for me to just because I feel like those two thoughts kind of contradict each other. I'm not saying I think the Earth is flat. I'm saying I don't know, and I am very comfortable with saying I've never been to fucking space. I don't necessarily believe what a lot of these organizations and agencies tell me to begin with. And a lot of people's big thing is why would they say the earth is flat? Like what do you gain out of saying the earth is flat? And the best explanation I ever heard was if you look at it from like a biblical Christianity point of view, which a lot of flat earthers, or I would think like actually like probably like 99% of flat earthers from what I know are Christians. And they believe that the Bible speaks about a firmament. We went over that on Warner von Braun's headstone last time.
Yeah.
But they also believe that if you can indoctrinate a person at a very young age and get it in their head that they are insignificant on a ball floating through space, hurling at other objects thousands and thousands of miles per hour, and you're just this little speck on this grand scale of nothingness, and there's just nothing. Everything is nothing, nothing, nothing. Then it's easier to brainwash you and to start pulling you away from the beliefs of Christianity and believing that there's a God or a creator, because it's easier to kind of say, oh well, there's no creator. Why would a creator create like so much randomness? And so a lot of flat earthers believe that they're very Christian based, and they believe that God created this plane of existence, and they have
Mm-hmm.
all these little, they show how like just take for instance, I said plane, the word planet is just like plane but with a T. And that's like little things they tell you, boom boom boom, they drop on you on these. Like, trust me, I've went down the rabbit hole on the flat earth thing. I went into it thinking there's no way I'm gonna think that the earth might even be flat at like 3.5%. We'll say 3.5. I'll never believe, that's, but then I watch these documentaries and I come out of them and I'm like, whoa, that 3.5 grew to 7. This is a callback to the last episode, by the way. But
Yeah, I hear that.
yeah, I'm trying to force it back in there. So the
So she
that's
said.
what's interesting is I watched all this stuff and I'm just like, whoa, maybe there's something to this. It's pretty trippy. It gets pretty trippy.
I mean, it certainly does because at the end of the day, you don't really know, and you would have to be once again an astronaut or somebody with access to a rocket to go to space. So Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or one of those other guys, and the only people who go on those are famous people and folks who have a ton of money and power. So
Yeah.
the one, and that's another issue. The ones who are in charge are the ones who make the rules and tell you what to believe. So they
Didn't
can
they
go
send
up and
Katy Perry to space?
oh god,
I think she went to
yes,
like low Earth orbit, right?
low
Yeah, she
Earth,
did.
yeah, low Earth orbit, and like she had a flower, and it was this whole thing, and it's like just no, no.
Hmm. Yeah, Katy Perry deserves to know more than us.
Yeah, well, famous people with money are important. Harvey Weinstein, um, at one point had a lot of money and power.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's
Very true.
running away because he got caught, or maybe he just he was chosen to get caught, I believe. But that's a whole
Oh
nother story.
yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother thing. That's yeah. Wait till we get into all that Epstein, Weinstein, all those Steens.
Mhm.
Don't even.
All
I'm not
this,
even gonna get started on all the Steens.
but don't get anti-Semitic
Yeah, right. Exactly. So
to a certain point.
that's where we're at. So I even think maybe there's a possibility that Earth may be larger than what we think, and maybe what this ice wall is like almost a boundary. If you can Google real quick, I know we have some videos that we're going to be showing here shortly, but can you Google, look up something like maybe like ice wall, uh, Earth larger than told or something like that, and you can find these maps, and it's like old world maps, um, that actually show what. Yeah, this is so. For the viewers that are watching, this is what some of these old world maps actually look like, and this might be one that somebody made, but if you go back into ancient maps and stuff, there's maps that look like this, and it's like maybe past this this ball that we're on. Maybe it is a ball, but it's just bigger, and there's more resources outside of where we are at, and the elites and these families, the Rockefellers and all of these 13 families that run the world, they know about it, and they have us over here fighting for these resources that are just slowly dwindling. So they tell us, are always the resources, the oil, everything is always just going away. They're always trying to scare us that it'll never be here, and past it there's just more, and we just don't know about it. So that's another theory too, and that could be a ball, that could be flat, that could be anything. Yeah, so here you go, you pulled up what looks like a old world map or something, huh?
Yeah, I've got
1595 flat earth map.
All right, let me switch over.
And
So
what?
that's it right there.
Yeah. So that outer part right there is supposed to be the ice wall. I'm assuming, is that what it's saying? It's a little hard to see on my side, but
Yeah. Let me see.
or some people believe, like and once you get to a certain point in Antarctica, um, hollow Earth. I don't know if you looked in the hollow moon, but hollow Earth is a whole other rabbit hole too.
Oh yeah. I know that whole thing, but let
Yeah.
me look at another one right here. It's,
And what's even more interesting is some of these ancient civilizations. There's a lot of evidence coming out now that they might have been more advanced, especially within their technology. And I mean, they have certain pottery and certain things that were created where scientists look at it now and they're like, this is like laser accurate of like this item is cut as if a laser cut it, and it's supposed to be from ancient Egyptian times and or older, and they have where even the pyramids are built to scale. All the pyramids around the world are all lined up with certain constellations. They're all built to a specific scale. Like I think the pyramid of Giza in ratio terms is the same size as the Earth as the pyramid is. It's fucking weird, dude. I
yeah,
watched this whole geometria uh, lecture
that's a
from
new
this
word.
guy. Yeah, like he was talking about all these ancient numbers and how all these years, certain times, all these cataclysms happen and blah blah. What I'm getting to after fucking ranting and trying to make a big point is maybe these civilizations from back then knew more and they could come up with detailed maps that were very accurate. And that's how, them saying the earth is flat, maybe they were the ones that were right the whole time. Maybe there is something past the ice wall.
Certainly a possibility. I mean, the one thing I saw here, which I'll return to it, this guy here has a much larger. I mean, you have our little planet-ish area here, then the ice wall going around that then opens up to all these different areas, which, like you were saying, and like I know we were reading at some point, there are areas that we're just not allowed to go because the people there don't trust us, and they
Mm-hmm.
have guards at the entrances and exits of these ice walls that will, allow you in or out depending on if they trust you or not. If they are able to work with you. And I know that one fellow was saying that the Russians are the only ones that have access right now, which is interesting to
To
say the least.
Antarctica.
To Antarctica, yeah.
So that treaty we spoke about in the last episode, and for those who didn't listen to the last episode, it was basically, I believe it was right after the Second World War, or it might have been before World War II. Actually, I really don't
Mhm.
remember, but it was in that time frame. That's when Admiral Byrd. We spoke about him last episode too. I think we're going to speak about him this one a little more detail.
Yeah.
He went on an exploration in Antarctica, and the things he saw was insane. He came back, and there's a video of him somewhere. Actually, if you can maybe try to find that, just look up a video of Admiral Byrd. He like goes on this talk show, and he's kind of like discussing his experience, and it's fucking weird because what you were saying, he said there was other people there that he saw, like these Nordic beings, people that basically look like Thor, tall, long, blonde hair, muscular, perfect shape.
Mhm.
Like, and supposedly this is like another alien species that lives within Earth somehow, whether it's hollow Earth inside of Earth or they live in these outer parts past the ice wall or something like that. Um, but yeah, but right after he comes back, that's what it was called, Operation Highjump. And after he came back, that's when all the countries in the world, or all the major countries in the world, decided, hey, let's not go to Antarctica. Let's just all agree that we're just not going to go to Antarctica. And then they just all agreed. And this is in the myths of whether it was post World Wars or pre World Wars or in between the two World Wars. They couldn't fucking agree on anything, but they all agreed, hey, let's not go to Antarctica, which is just baffling to me because it's like, what about Antarctica?
Strangely
So
enough,
yeah,
there's
let's.
nothing in the world.
Okay, so you found a video of Admiral Byrd. This is the video I was speaking about. It's a short. So go ahead and let's run that from the top.
All right, come on.
But strangely enough, there is left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
That's a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
So that was Admiral Byrd just speaking about, I guess, going to Antarctica. Were you able to find like his recalling his account of? It may not be a video. It might be just. I think he may have just written it. But there is some writing. There you go, Admiral Byrd journal. That was that's what they used to hear what he had to say about it. So go do the second one right there. That's a short video that probably has like the log of it. Yeah, let's listen to this.
According to Admiral Byrd's diary, he fuels up for a flight early in the morning. The weather is clear and mechanically the plane checks out. At 8:15, at an altitude of 2,300 feet, he checks in.
0815 hours. Radio check with base camp. Situation normal.
At 10 after 9, he notices a color pattern in the snow. Nothing extreme, but he circles the area to get a closer look. He makes visual contact with camp and radios in his findings. Then, his instruments start to act strange. He writes that both his compasses are gyrating so much that he can't even use them. So he uses the sun to navigate and maintains a visual of camp. He reports that his controls are feeling sluggish. He's concerned about the wings icing up. There's a little ice, but no indication of a problem, so he continues flying toward what he perceives as a mountain range.
0949 hours. 29 minutes elapsed flight time from the first sighting of the mountains. It is no illusion. They are mountains and consisting of a small range that I have never seen before.
He crosses the mountain range and descends toward what he describes as a green valley with a small river running through.
There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth.
He drops down a bit and circles back for a closer look. He reports the green as being moss or tight grass. The light seems different here. He can see the ground easily, but he can no longer see the sun. Now this starts to worry him because he's using the sun to navigate, but he gets distracted by something he didn't expect. On the green valley below, a large animal is grazing.
It appears to be an elephant. No, it looks more like a mammoth. This is incredible, yet there it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet and take binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed. It is definitely a mammoth-like animal. Report this to base camp.
Admiral Byrd flies over green pastures that stretch for miles, and he's so amazed by what he's seeing, it takes him almost 30 minutes to realize it's not cold anymore. Frost on his forward window is gone. Same with the bits of ice that were on the wings. He removes his gloves. The window of the canopy is warm to the touch. He records an external air temperature of 74 degrees Fahrenheit. His instruments are now back online, but his radio is out. And remember, in the official report, Admiral Byrd was out of radio contact for 3 hours. So he flies for another hour over what looks to be a countryside or a pasture. On the horizon, he sees the impossible, a large, shining city. The plane shudders. Admiral Byrd grabs the controls, but they're not responding. He notices the plane feels light and buoyant. Then, on both sides of the plane, strange aircraft are rapidly closing in. They're disc-shaped and seem to be radiating light, and somehow they're running completely silent. Now, thinking this is now a really good time to head back, Admiral Byrd tries the controls again. No luck. The plane's engine suddenly cuts out, but somehow continues flying, controlled by some unseen force. The craft are right up alongside his plane now, close enough that Admiral Byrd can see markings. In that instant, his wonder turns to terror. The markings are swastikas.
So that's supposed to be from his diary, from his journal.
Wow. I didn't expect a twist at the end with the swastikas, because that's, everything looks like, okay, it's some advanced civilization, and then it's bam, Nazis. It's like, really?
Yeah, because Hitler was into some crazy shit. He was, I mean, obviously, besides the things he did in internment camps, but he was into the occult. There's a lot of accounts of him trying to use spirituality to fight the war and magic and things. He was into some weird shit, and he was very interested in Antarctica for some reason. And when he supposedly took the poison with Eva Braun, she actually died. He fled to Argentina, where you can. There was a show called Chasing Hitler, Hunting Hitler, or something like that. And they go down to Argentina, and you find all this German influence randomly in these super small Argentinian towns. And then you go out into the forest and you find these ruins of Nazi encampments and stuff. And you can find swastikas drawn on these old fort concrete buildings and stuff. And people say, okay, well, what does that have to do with Antarctica? But I mean, go pull up pull up a map and look at where Argentina is compared to Antarctica. It's a pretty close area. It's it's close there. And another interesting thing is, if you try to if you go too far down to the South Pole and you try to go to Antarctica right now, you can't. It's illegal. So if you look at Argentina, the very southern tip of Argentina will eventually touch Antarctica. I mean, look how that's as close as you can get right there on Earth. Maybe an island right there or something in between, yeah. But as far as distance, I mean, Argentina and Antarctica are pretty close. So that might be why they ventured off to Argentina. But the Nazis, some of the Nazis running and fleeing to Argentina, that's not a conspiracy. That's 100% fact.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard about that.
Yeah, that's not a conspiracy at all. That's why a lot of Argentinians, they look more fair complected, more light features and stuff too. There was a big German influence in parts of Argentina, so very interesting, very weird. So maybe the Nazis, they were on some. There's drawings of what looks like flying saucer type ships that they were working on, and they look like bells. If you look up the Nazi Bell plane or I don't know, Nazi Bell flying craft or something like that, and you'll find pictures of see Nazi Bell right there. You'll find pictures of stuff. Just go to images there. But so it's you see where that one that looks kind of like a ship. Yeah, there was supposedly like drawings and stuff. I've seen a picture of them where they were blueprints, but they were into they were trying to find anti-gravity. They were trying to find a new propulsion system. So for all we fucking know, maybe all the gray aliens we see now are fucking Nazis that have been living in space, and they're time traveling Nazi aliens. That's what we're dealing with here.
Time traveling Nazi aliens.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool like punk band name. Time traveling Nazi aliens.
Very true. So this would be the bell.
Yeah. A lot of Nazi ideals and imagery came from ancient folklore. In this image, we can see the inscriptions that were found on the Nazi bell. This would not have been unusual for the Nazi party because they relied heavily on these ancient symbols and folklore to drive their beliefs. See, so they were very into weird stuff. But I mean, if you're doing the things that they're doing, right, you got to be evil. You got to be willing to fuck with some evil shit.
For sure. I mean, I just remember, God, I mean, you remember the video game Wolfenstein?
Yes.
And I played one of the most recent ones where you actually had to take a Nazi spacecraft to Venus, which is where you know, they had like a little Nazi base where freaking Hitler was still alive, like in the 70s.
Yeah, that's
And
interesting. No, I
it's
I
like, what the
remember the
actual?
games. I just never played them, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're a gamer, first person shooters, those are always fun.
If you're a virgin,
Hey, that don't, once you lose it, you don't get it back.
so it makes you wonder. Like, I guess if you get past a certain point in Antarctica, you pass this ice wall. Maybe the ice wall is not just one little wall; it's this whole land mass, and there's more mass after that. It's strange, dude. There's something going on with Antarctica.
Well, yeah, I mean, going back to the maps and stuff of just this God knows what, like Admiral Byrd, he flew out past a little wall and hit one of these little mountain ranges and either Aten or Jimenia or Italia. Interesting.
Retardia?
It starts with a P.
Oh,
It looks like Pita Tia.
Pita Tia. I thought you said retardia. That's where I'm from.
Patia Tia. Patia Tia sounds, I don't know, man. I don't sound good.
That sounds like a Greek food.
It does sound like you should eat it, which tells me whatever, to each their own, but all the same, if you're an advanced culture and you're going to be naming places, don't name it after an item that you like eat with your hands.
Yeah, very true. So, okay, so we got this. Have you ever heard of Tartaria in the Great Mud Flood?
I was about to say, is that close to Narnia?
It kind of is. And then you open and it's just your old crane operator's dick. That's Tartaria. So Tartaria is also shown on ancient maps, and this is supposed to be an old civilization, an old empire that ran the world. And you can find them on old maps and things like this, and it's named Tartaria, and supposedly it's when like all these ancient civilizations were so advanced, so you had other civilizations like Atlantis. A lot of people think Atlantis was real, but all these empires and civilizations existed until there was a great, catastrophic meteor hitting the earth, or a flood or something caused a great flood. And that's why they say, so if you look back at old pictures from when like America was first being like discovered, and you would see like old New York and stuff like that, all these buildings and architecture, it would be like a fucking like a regular drugstore, but the drugstore looks like a fucking castle, and it looks gothic and beautiful. And they said it's because they didn't build those buildings when they came, they were already there.
So all this stuff was pre-built. Whatever this Tartaria nation was, they just went away, died out.
Yeah, because of so there's other discoveries they have found where they have found these what looks like these people were living underground in a lot of areas around the world. They have like these systems, cave systems almost built inside of mountains or underground and stuff like that. And they think that they start at some point, because of these great floods, people would learn when they were going to happen, and they would go underground and if there was like a meteor, I don't fucking know, and then somehow they survived it. And but yeah, this is so old,
yeah, this one's saying it's in like 15 something. I didn't really see it, but hey, it's old.
Yeah, so
1737.
1737, yeah.
Yeah, on this one here.
Yeah.
So,
which in the grand scheme of things, 1737 is not very old, and they were still picturing Tartaria.
Yeah. And so it was all like what is now part of China, part of Russia, part of the Caucasus, all those places, and even going into India almost.
Yeah.
That was like, we call that an empire.
100% empire. So yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll have to do a deeper dive, but all this stuff is tied together, so it's kind of hard to not talk about everything when you're talking about one of these things, because they're all tied together. And stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're pulling one freaking thread from a massive sweater that is like the theory of everything almost. So you
Yeah.
pull one thread about the aliens, one thread about the Nazi freaking camp, wherever the heck. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
I said
it's all intertwined, it's all interlocked, and that's when you reach the point when you're on this, which is funny because now it's almost like it's so normalized and cool mainstream to be against the thread and to know about this stuff. But man, back in the day, like I know you know, I'm sure you were in that boat too, where you were like, oh, I'm starting to see through some of this shit, man. And you were ridiculed almost.
Hey man, you always get ridiculed for what you believe in if it's not the status quo or if it's not what everybody else believes in. That's what you get for being different, and that's on you.
Yep, 100%, 100%. That's just but once you start moving a curtain and then another curtain, and you start revealing all this stuff, and you just start finding out everything's tied together, that's why it's almost impossible. Like somehow, some way, the stuff we're talking about tonight can guide you to fucking 9/11 being an inside job, because it's so all intertwined together. Like Nazis survived. Nazis started coming over to. We talked about it last episode. Project Paperclip. The Nazis started leading our government system without us knowing, and they set up 9/11. Like you can like all tie it together.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if you think about the history of the way things are now, the current power, who's where and all that mess, going back to Ferdinand, the assassination that kicked off the First World War, I believe.
Yeah.
And like
Ferdinand, right? Something like that.
Something like that. I forget. Yeah. I should know this, but I'm not really a World War I buff. But yeah. Once he got taken out, so many things moved. Like the freaking power balance of the world shifted in the course of, from then to like 1945, the end of the Second World War, and even till today, everything that we do, it's like that movie Butterfly Effect. One thing happens, one little ripple, and it affects everything here on out. And if you can change
CERN,
one thing,
it's CERN colliding fucking electrons and neutrons and fucking creating black holes and pushing us into different timelines and different fucking realities. So dude, like that's like COVID, like that was one that just fucking changed shit, dude. We jumped on a whole different timeline after COVID.
Yeah, I think oh man, that right there was I'll say a hot fucking turd from start to finish. I understand a lot of people got hurt by it, by the illness itself, or by the reaction to it. A lot of people got abandoned, and that's a whole nother freaking can of worms. But I'm glad I live in Texas because it was not that crazy down here.
Yeah. I man, we'll have to save that for another episode. I can go into COVID forever, but that just changed our timeline. So, but yeah, let's get to some of these videos that we had that we were gonna watch before we wrap up here. I wanted to go over them. Some of them are about flat Earth, some of them are about Antarctica, and then we just have some random ones too. So let's go with this one here. Is there any way to make this full screen or to at least zoom in on it maybe?
So I can give you one of these, but it's not letting me do full screen.
I'm going to read not the full description, but the little thing on the screen for the audio listeners. It's last guy describes what happens if you fly a certain distance over the ice wall in Antarctica. It's what happened to James Admiral Byrd in our Earth. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. So, right, well, we're sorry. For audio listeners, we're watching videos of pilots, airline industry workers describing that the Earth is flat. Okay, let's go ahead.
I'm a member of the Flat Earth. You ready?
Ready? Oh.
I'm an American Airlines pilot. I'm a member of the Flat Earth Society.
God bless you, brother. Wow, the truth. I love it.
How long have you been a pilot for?
43 years.
Wow. What shape is the planet?
Flat.
You're the pilot?
Hi.
How long have you been flying for?
Like for Delta, 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat?
The world is flat.
Confirmed.
Completely flat. Completely flat.
And ice wall? What's beyond the ice wall?
You get to that and you go down and then gravity works in a different direction. So when it rains, it doesn't fall on the floor. It falls
Is there another world beyond the ice wall? Wow.
Well, that was very interesting.
A lot of pilots saying the Earth is flat. Really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Which one you want to dig into next?
I know one time I saw on a documentary about flat Earth, they said that when a pilot is like, they showed like an excerpt from their book and from school, and it said like, it literally says like treat as if you're flying over a flat plane, and that's like in regards to coordinating the flight paths, and that's in like the book. That's how they, from what I saw, from what I remember, this was like the pilots learned this in school. That's how they have to learn.
Well, I mean, an airplane is called a plane, right? And you know, we know one thing for sure. Back in our construction days, spirit levels and all that, everything must be flat in order for it to stand.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Very interesting. Do we have any more that have to do with the topic? No.
We do not.
Okay, let's watch. Yeah, let's go with this one real quick. This is just a NASA fails, green screen and blue screen times that NASA looks like you're seeing video from a space station of them floating above us, but maybe you're not. I don't know. Let's see.
Pushing former President George Bush through a NASA site. When you look behind, you see, what is that? And something green floating. Almost looks like a studio green with studio blue. Oh, this is the finished product, and that's supposed to be the water. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how everything is floating. Look at that. Oh, except the water. Don't look at that. Steve, you're in the shot, Steve. Steve, get out the shot. Steve, Larry, we gotta fire Steve again.
Sometimes something a little different happens.
Whoops, I'll get it.
Sometimes.
His crew attempted a spacewalk outside the station. Here's a live look at the astronauts.
Whoops.
Well, I don't believe. I don't think that's. Yeah.
Cut away.
Where's their spacesuit?
I don't know what this guy's holding, but it is super heavy. Look, he almost drops it in space, and it goes straight down. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. Larry, how's it going up there? Yeah, you got that tuna can I sent you? Great. That's oh my God, Larry, what happened? Larry, we lost you. Well, we have your head, but not your body. Larry.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, a lot of
blunders.
Like the one with the water floating and then the little glass sitting on the table and nothing going really anywhere. You know, I don't know how anti-gravity, non-gravity, or partial gravity works, but I would expect things to not just be, you know, where they are like that. I would imagine since the space station is moving, because it's currently falling, or like it's in a constant state of falling as it's falling around the Earth, or orbiting around the Earth. So it should keep moving. I don't know. I'm not a physicist or a scientist, or I don't work for what is that freaking Skywalker Ranch or Industrial Light and Magic? So I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, that's a whole. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch. We got a lot of episodes here we can talk about. So yeah, this is interesting, and that blue screen and that green screen bubble floating, that's fucking crazy, dude. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so you can argue, hey, I don't know how physics works in space, and I don't understand gravity and anti-gravity and or non-gravity or whatever. I don't understand it, so maybe that cup of water is not floating for some reason. But the green screen and blue screen, and then seeing the video shown how it is after it's edited, like, you can't argue that. And that was like just a mess of like you're filming the president being pushed in a wheelchair through the space center, and you forget that on the back screen right there, it's showing what it looks like post or pre-editing, actually, not post-editing. So I don't know, man. And there's a lot of videos online you can find of astronauts supposedly in the space station, and you see what looks like bubbles because they're like in water is what the people are saying, and that's why you see bubbles, and there's bubbles in space.
And it's interesting because they look a certain kind of way. Whenever someone's in space, they almost look like they're being kind of puffed up or lifted up, that their face is different. So part of me thinks that they might be hanging upside down, because things are, your entire face looks different whenever it's weightless.
Right.
Things start going, things start moving. You don't have gravity pulling you down. So all this extra chin goes away, which would be nice.
What do you think the crane operator looks like in space?
I don't need to know. Yeah, but using a porta can in space would be difficult because you pee in and your little streams are bubbling up and going everywhere. You're gonna get dirty.
Dude,
covered in your own piss.
Those porta can stories are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know that it was me that did the jack off counter in the porta can.
Oh, really? That was you?
Yeah.
I was accused of adding a glory hole to a porta can once.
Well, did you?
It was no, because maybe
you didn't add it, but did you use it?
No, but look, this is a short story. This is a short story. Okay. I added one to another building, but I did it right. I used a hole saw. It was a nice clean hole. I put tape on the inside, and then I gave it a little door with a hinge. Technically, it was used to
it's like a mouse door, like a fucking Tom and Jerry or something.
But it was obviously at waist height, but for an average person. And but for the reason I put it there was to push through paperwork, requisitions for this material crew. And then at some point, someone thought it was funny to cut a hole in the porta can, but it was this jagged, nasty hole. And I'm like, and they actually asked me, "Did you make that?" And I'm like, "No." Like, did you see the one I made? It's nice. It's clean. You're not going to get hurt. That thing there is a freaking death trap. Anyway,
back to flat Earth. I made. I put thought in the glory hole I made. You can't take that away from me.
I care about people and their situations and their members and such. I don't want them to get damaged. Cutting some random jagged plastic hole, that's just going to cause irritation.
A glory hole in a porta can that's jagged like that is like a fucking Saw game.
Yeah, some kind of a timer with
you got to put your dick in there and.
I assume there's some like you have to finish before the timer runs out. If you don't, your heart's whatever. It's just there's always something dumb like that.
Your penis just fucking.
Oh yeah, too much information.
Dude, that's
I
so
feel
funny.
I feel sad in my
hilarious.
pants.
That visual is so funny. Okay, let's go to the next video that we got here. Let's see. We got one more, right? Okay, so this is a recent one. So this woman, I can't remember who they said she was. You had mentioned something about it. So this video claims that she has a button fitted on her belly, and she gets the nod that he's asleep. She moves her hand and presses a button that wakes him up. They're calling her the Zapper. No idea if it's true, but it appears to line up. And it's kind of weird when you watch it. So we're watching a video of Trump in the Oval Office. He's talking, or somebody else is talking, and he's old, so he's falling asleep like any man his age would do. And this lady is, I guess, zapping. They're claiming that she's zapping him. So let's see.
Dozen and more major research teams to answer the question of what is the cause of autism. It's a complicated biological phenomenon. It's not going to be a simple answer. It will have actually more than a year
with no audio. And play it. Her movements are very unnatural. It's like a droid. It's like a robot.
Well, looking at her face, I'm not one to objectify whatever, but she looks very much inhuman or maybe too perfect. Maybe it's just she has a great makeup job. Maybe it's something else.
You know what it is? She's uncanny.
Uh-oh. Don't know whether it's real or not.
Yeah, like your brain can't figure out like is that a real person? That's what she looks like. I mean, genuinely, like
Yeah. Especially in this day and age where they've gotten so good with it. They've gotten so good with making these. You ever heard of real dolls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they've been doing that for a while, but now we're talking about robots, androids.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody was saying that the craziest part is the fact that even back in ancient times, we had a need for the uncanny valley, which means at some point in our freaking history, there may have been something out there that looked like us, like a mimic or a skinwalker. You're talking about something that we had to be.
We had to adapt to recognize and send that weird message to our brain that's like, hey, something ain't right here.
Yep. So frightening.
Maybe
that's
like the same feeling you have whenever you're trying to figure out if a woman's a man or not.
I've always been told if she has an apple, she has a banana.
I haven't heard it like that. The Adam's apple thing, yes, but I haven't heard it put that way. But now I'll never forget. Even when I'm drunk, I won't forget.
I'm glad I've helped you with things today.
Yes, you taught me something that I will.
It's my job to help.
So the weird thing is, like, I don't know who she is. I can't remember who they said she was, but it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, at this point. I mean, they're already launching robots to go into your home and be like basically a housemaid for you. And I think they're like $20,000 or something like that.
That's an expensive way to lose all your privacy and freedom. Then again, if you have a cell phone, your access to privacy is limited anyway.
Right. Yeah. That's like there's just not where it's over. We're just hoping we die before it gets really bad. But
does not bode well for the children.
No, that's the problem.
It turns into a whole freaking like science fiction film. My tag's hanging out. Fuck that hat. Anyway, it's too much. It's too much. Thinning hair is thinning hair.
Oh yeah, team thinning hair, brother. I'm there with you.
But your hair looks better. It's still darker than mine. Mine's mostly gray, and ignore that spot.
That's a crop circle.
Oh wow, that's a whole new thing. Let me go ahead and write that down. I'm gonna research that. We'll find some like images of people with crop circles on their heads. Because who knows? Maybe the aliens aren't massive and have these huge things. Maybe they're tiny. Have you ever seen the movie? If you ever seen the movie Batteries Not Included, the aliens were like that big, but they were robots.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Like the little alien inside the alien's chest in Men in Black.
Yeah, I'll send you the freaking thing so you can. Well, heck, I'm right here. We have a few minutes.
No, it's okay, man. Peyton Manning looks like he's my father. Have you ever seen Peyton Manning?
I had never thought of that.
Look at
at
this
all.
thing.
Oh yeah, you kind of got that whole thing. It's like like there was a tidal wave of hair, and now it's like receding back.
Yeah,
off
it's
the
like,
beach.
It's like the start of a tsunami when all the water goes back. Okay, so, I've never seen that.
Let me just bring this image up. But yeah, Batteries Not Included. It was May. I think it was like 1987, something like that. It's just one of the, it's an
Are you
old
sure
movie.
This isn't some porno you watched and you're getting it confused with a real movie?
No, but I have seen the porn version of Star Wars, and it was hilarious. I mean, the set design was beautiful. Like they used freaking aluminum half pans and painted them up and put them on the walls to make them look like control panels. Just the amount of effort they went through to make just what amounts to a dirty film.
Cared, dude.
And they even gave you the option if you wanted to watch the just the entire video, or just the porn scenes, or just the video without the porn. So if you just wanted to watch the acting,
the wholesome part,
it wasn't bad. The Luke and Leia scene was interesting because they did it.
It's funny because I know you, by the way you're describing it, I know you actually watched it.
Oh,
so
I didn't.
So much funny
because it was hilarious.
The entirety of the movie.
I was engrossed because at that point, like, you have me fully engaged. I understand what this movie is and what the design of it is for. It's a marital aid, or it's it's a lonely man's sleeping pill. And but the amount of, like I said, the effort they put into it, the production values were nice, low budget. Like I said, aluminum half pans were control panels, but it was beautiful. Yeah, that's all.
I'm gonna have to catch that one sometime.
I mean, watch it with someone you love.
Okay, so yeah, maybe this lady has a little robot inside of her.
Interesting.
I don't know.
So I know the little person inside the robot, but what about a robot inside of a person?
Well, that's one to think on, and that's one to leave the audience listening on. So
Indeed.
That was episode number 2. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it all the way to this point. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You got anything?
I'm good. Just what you said. Like and subscribe. We enjoy everyone to be engaged.
Star Wars right after.
I mean, I would say throw some stuff in the comments if there's any. I would say obscure movies like Batteries Not Included. I know someone out there in the world has seen it, and
yeah, it looks interesting.
I think it was called Star Wars.
For sure. It had to be.
I imagine.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Peace.